Hi everybody, it's Robin with Uniquely Robins. We're going to finish putting our pages in our journal. But first we're going to find the pages that we want to put in there. I already cut those two. So let's trim these up. Do these all together. Get a little faster. Hope everybody is having a great weekend so far. I know it's only Friday. My husband only works 4 days a week, so Friday is our weekend. But he has been working overtime here the last few weeks, so he actually got a Friday off. Usually works Monday through Friday and or Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day. Make sure the back side of these are trimmed as well. Some of them might be turned the opposite direction. I don't know if I printed them right. Okay, so those are done. Let's make sure we get the back of these trimmed a little bit. And this will help us to decide what size we want to make our journal. Okay. As well as our front will help us decide too. Let's see. I think if we fold this in half this way, then you'll see. We just need to trim the tops a little bit. Let me make sure I have them all turned the right direction. Okay. So, I have just a tiny bit on the edge here I want to trim off. Okay. And then we will trim the top. It doesn't have to be a massive amount, just a little bit. Might be a little more than that, but let's start with that. Let's see what we got. Oh, I think that'll be good. We're just going to trim this last one off. Alrighty, and I'm going to grab some parchment paper. I like to put parchment paper pages in my kits because I like the way it looks and it gives places to write. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's start with 12. Oops. Opening the wrong drawer. cut down the same height as those. Pull that out. Okay. Trash can's a little too close. It's in my personal bubble. Let's see. Fold this in half. And see where we stand. Oh, needs to be a little shorter. And a little shorter this way. Whoops, back in there. A little shorter that way. And a little shorter this way. I think I want, I'm trying to think, do I want the parchment paper to be a little shorter this way, I think, than the pretty paper. Let's start with 6 and see how we get. This parchment paper is not straight. Trim it off anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I just find it weird that it's not straight. I don't think I used this for anything, but look how much off that is. Oh, we'll fix it. This way of making a cover is a good thing to have in your repertoire of things to know how to do, because if you make a journal using this cover, you can make your pages as big as you want. You can do a 12 by 12 pages if you want, or a whole sheet of 8 by 10 if you want. That's one thing I like about it. Let me fold the rest of these. I don't know if we'll use them all, but we'll have them folded even, just in case. But yeah, you'll be able to put full sheets of paper in them if you want to. And you don't have to fold them. You can just put them in there whole. That's one thing I do like about this. That and the fact that you can take it apart whenever you want to, take pages out. If you mess something up in there and you don't want that page in your book, you can always just remove it without tearing it out. If you get all your pages filled up and you want to take it out, and then you just put your pages together by themselves and store them somewhere and put new pages inside your book. There's just so many different things you can do with this kind of a journal cover, You'll understand more here in a minute when I actually show you how to put it together. piece parts out of there. Where's my... I didn't cut the top off yet. So, just gonna do these a couple at a time because it'll be quicker in the long run. Because I won't have so many troubles with it. All right, a few more. I'm not cutting a whole lot off the top, just a little bit. Okay. Sorry about that noise. Trying to hurry up and get it out your way. I know you always see me take these scraps and put them over here in my trash can. We're going to use these one day. And we're going to grind them up and make our own paper with them. All different colors with it and everything. Okay. Oh, I didn't cut those down. I thought I did. Goodness. Trimmed that one to match the rest. I didn't really cut it down, and I wanted to cut it down a little bit. I want it a little smaller than my pretty paper is. Which is what I thought I was doing, but I wasn't. Alright, you can just tear off of there and I'll trim you up, just like that. Okay. Now we got it. Okay. Now let's fold these. I have one oh, there it is. Real fast. I had one I know I already folded. I'm going to fold this way. Okay. And I'm going to put 2 inside each one of these. Okay. Put that one. Okay, I figure out the order I want them to be in. Good thing I cut those down because they would have been way longer than the other ones. They're actually still a bit long. I could have trimmed them even more, but it's not that big of a deal. I just Okay, so now we have our big 3-hole punch. And if you can see in here, we don't have room to go all 3 holes. So I think this comes out. Maybe it doesn't. I thought it must be the other one. Let me get my other hole punch, because that one isn't the expandable one. This one is. Been a while since I used it. I don't remember how. Okay. This one punches better. This one extends so you can put it where you want it. If you can see, if I slide this in here, it won't reach all 3 to put 3 holes in. So we're going to use 2 holes. I guess I could have used the other one, but kind of wanted to use this one because then I can set it to where I want the holes to be. And I think that looks good right there. We have one here and we have one here. And we want to get it in the middle of our board. This is why we had to put that extra strip in there and why we needed it to be as wide as we made it. So when you set this in here, now, if you don't have a 3-hole punch, this is a 3-hole punch. It'll punch through, well, I'm not sure about this one. I got this at a thrift store. But the other one, I know I can punch 30 pages at once with it. But if you don't have one of those, you can just mark where you want your holes on all your papers and then go through and use your regular hole punch for it. Or you can use an awl if you don't have a hole punch at all, like a book awl. What else can you use? Well, if your husband's a machinist, they have punch and die sets, which I have one because my husband is a machinist, and he brought me his out of his toolbox from work, and you just slide it in the little plastic thing, and you put the metal thing down, and you hit it with a hammer, and it puts a hole in even really hard stuff, because it'll go through metal. I love it. But, so let's put our holes in the other one. This goes this way, this goes this way. So we want to make sure our holes are the same. So we want to make sure we put our book page in the same, or the book cover in the same direction as we did with the other one. So our holes are in the same spot. And if you line them up, you see the holes are in the same spot on both of them. And that's the one thing I do like about this one, because it has this that you could pull out to where you need it. And so they'll all be the same. Okay, and now we're going to punch these the same way. Sorry about the noise. It is a little noisy. My desk is not real sturdy, so I have to be careful I don't make it flop up. It's kind of a homemade desk. Okay. All right. So we're done with that. Oh, sorry. Let me close that up first. It's on the shelf there. Okay. So now the construction, see, all of our holes match. Now the way you put this together, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can put it together this way, but I don't like that, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. You can get these on Amazon. They're called binding screws. And I got an assortment of, this is 120 pieces. I'm trying to get set up with Amazon to put links below of the stuff that I use so that you can just click on the link and go there. And I get a tiny bit of a commission from that if you click on the link to go there and you buy it. That way, I get a tiny bit of commission. I mean, that's not much at all. But it does help when I'm trying to, you know, promote people's pages, and I'm trying to help people by promoting their YouTube channels and things like that. I do have a link, the very first thing on my page down there, the description page, there is a link that says buy me a cup of coffee. And that's if you want to donate some money toward my YouTube channel. And that just helps me to be able to buy all this stuff that I use on all these videos to help promote people's YouTube channels and their Etsy stores. I just basically can't afford to do that, you know, continue to do that on, and I'm sure you understand. Anyway, these come in all different sizes, and of course they're all messed up right now. They don't stand there in little holes. But so you have from the very teeny tiniest. Does it have sizes on here? Yeah. No. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different sizes. And each size takes well, this one takes this screw. I think these 3 take this, or these 2 take this screw. And this one takes either of these screws, I think. But the screws are different. And you can buy these individual too if you know you just want all this size. You can buy a package that is just all this size. That's up to you. I'm trying to decide what size I want to use, because I want to make sure we have plenty of room. So I'm wondering if I want to use, I think I want to use the biggest ones. And that should be these screws, I believe. That's not a screw. I think it's these screws. They get all messed up in there, it's hard to tell. But you can just screw on there and see if they fit or not. And it does. Okay, does it have a number on it? Nope, of course not. Probably made in China. Okay. But these work really great. And we only need 2 of them. Okay. And I don't know if this is the right way to do it or not, like I always tell you. I've never taken any classes or anything like that. It's just something that I came up with in my head, and it works for me. I fold mine back this direction. I get my, well, let's start with the top. Let's start with the top. I fold it back this direction. Put my screws through on the inside, because when you close your book, you want it to close like that. So you want it on the inside of your flap. And yeah, that's the front. So it goes that direction. So these will be my front pages. And you just put them on. Oh, it's going to be too long. Okay, I'm going to have to cut them down. Hold on, let me cut them down. I thought I measured that right, but evidently I forgot about the holes. Move it up, that's why. Okay, well, no problem. Let's just trim them down. Now, if I'm going to trim them down, I want to trim them. First, I want to put it on my book and line my holes up. So I want the trims to come off the bottom. Is that going to be the same on here? Yes. So I want to trim the bottom, not the top, so that it, because if I don't, see what I mean? How, let me hold it up there so you can see. How it's hanging over down here, we don't want it to hang over, so we need to trim it off up there. So we want to trim from the bottom. Okay, not a humongous amount, but a good amount. It's going to take a good amount. Okay. Now let's see how that'll work. Yes. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim this front side off while I have the trimmer out, because it is sticking out a little further than I want it to stick out. Should have done one at a time. One booklet at a time. There we go. All these little hairy things get caught up in there. Okay. I'm going to do these one at a time to ensure that I don't have that problem again. Okay. I have a hard time holding on to it tight enough too. It wants to slide on me. Okay, so we have this one and this one. We're using this one as our guide. Going to pull that out now that I have it where I want it. So sometimes the thickness on that side keeps your blade from going all the way down. So I just kind of set it up there, and then I can pull that one out. Okay. And line up my holes. Line up the paper. Slide that one out. There we go. Get your measurements, pull it back, and cut it. Okay, and this is the last one. Line up your holes. Come on. Line up your paper, pull that back, and then cut. Okay. One more cut. All right. Okay. These out of the way. I was looking for something that I had up here, but I don't know what I did with it. Okay. Doesn't matter. We'll find it later. All right, so let's start this again. You put your pins in. I lost another half, but I didn't. And you could put the screw part on the front or the back, whichever you prefer to do. I kind of like them on the back. Okay. So we're going to put our pages on. That looks much better. Okay. And you can add as many pages as you want to this. And then you can put your back side on. So we may not need it that big of, I don't think we need that big of ones. Let's find some smaller ones. If we had more paper in, then we would need these great big ones. But since we don't, let's use these for now. Sorry about that. And make sure these are the same, take the same screws. And they do, okay. Yeah, let's use the smaller ones. Okay. So, I think I can get them all on at the same time here. Okay. And we put our back side on. And we want our back side to go, lay it flat and put it on. So then when you close it, it closes up like that. All right. Now I'm just going to put this hand tight for now. You can tighten it up with a screwdriver. That's all it takes is a screwdriver. You hold the screw on the other side and just tighten it up. Okay? Now, you might say this looks funky back here, which it does right now, but once we get it more stuff in it and it fills out a little more, it'll look better, and we're going to put something on this. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, but let me give you an example. Haven't found the right thing that I'm going to use, but just to give you an example, sorry about the noise from all that. You want it to be something flexible. You can use paper. Like the cardstock we had left, we could use this and put on there like that. Or, you know, you want it to be long enough and everything. You can do that. Normally, I prefer to use something more flexible like lace or fabric. This isn't the fabric I'm going to use, but just to show you what I'm talking about. And that's why I said we didn't matter that we didn't have it all the way back here, because I knew we were going to put something like this on there. And you'll wrap it around and, you know, attach it to the front and the back. So then when you look at the spine, that's what you'll see. It'll be flat like that. And it's just a lot more flexible when you go to taking it off and on and off and on and off and on. If you are going to fill your book and then take the pages out and reuse it, it just makes it more sturdy. And you could do both if you want. I don't think that's really the right... I had to find something that I like on there. And it doesn't have to be material. It can be a piece of lace if you have a thick enough piece of lace. I mean, of course, I don't think lace would look good with this book, but, you know, if you had a darker piece of lace or something, a piece of lace would work. Piece of muslin would work. And like I said, you can use the paper. Leather works well. I have some faux leather. Actually, we might use... Let me grab a piece of it. Oh, I do have some black. I didn't think I had any black left, but I do. Here's a suede-like piece. You could use that on there. You know, black would look better. I didn't think I had any of this black left, but I do. There's a cover I made that I haven't finished. And then I have this black and brown mixed too. Would look nice, but I'm thinking we're going to use the black on there. Yeah, I really do think we will. Now I can cut, I have before, I can cut this leather with my cutter. I know I've cut it before. I'm trying to remember if I cut it with this cutter or my rotary cutter, but this is just faux leather, so it's not that hard to cut. And let's see, how thick do we want it to be, or how wide? I want it to lay right down through there. Then wrap around. So let's make it about there. Just guesstimating. For a minute, I didn't think it went through. I think that's the piece I wanted. Okay. Now we'll go back to our front. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And I want to round the edges of this. So I'm going to fold it in half so that they'll be even. Hoping these scissors work. Yeah, they will. And just round the edges. You can leave them square if you like. I just kind of like how it looks when they're rounded. Oops. Well, that didn't do what I wanted. I want you to turn. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's use the Fabri-Tac. You could even use like E6000 on this, or hot glue. Well, you can use hot glue. I'm not sure how well I would trust hot glue alone, but you could use hot glue and E6000. All right. And we're going to lay it on there about where we want it. Leave that set for a minute. What happened? I think Daddy went to take a shower without you, didn't he? Okay. Just kind of waiting for that to dry up a little bit. You could also use super glue on that. You know, whatever glue that you normally use for like fabric or something heavy duty will work on there. Trying to think of some other options to tell you that might work. I'm not sure. Oh, my finger stuck to it. Just had the glue on the outside. That will come off when you let it dry a little bit. Just gotta let it dry and then it'll rub off. Not a big deal. All right. Now we're going to put it on this side. But like I said, I like this kind of closure, or spine, whatever you want to call it, for when you want to add and remove your books from it, or your pages from it. Gives you flexibility that way. Okay. And I like the leather on there because I think it makes it look nice. Okay. I've got to let this dry before I mess with it too much, so I'll just let you look at it. And you see that's the way to look from the end, and that's how to look from the back, just like a regular book if you have it up on a shelf. And then you can go through your pages. You can take them in and out, however you want to do it. Now, I recommend that you take the pages out to get them all decorated up and then put them back in. I think that works best. It gives you more flexibility. It's easier. And since this is like a, you know, a ship captain's log, or you can make your grimoire books this way, so you can take them in, the pages in and out a lot easier. But just another thing to have in your repertoire, another different way to make a book cover. So, and yeah, I do suggest that you put your holes as close to this edge as you can. And you don't have to make your thing this big. You can make it any size you want, but just make sure whatever hole punch you're using, that it's bigger than that. Because you want a little bit of tough stuff on either side of it so your holes don't rip. But that's that. We will decorate this probably tomorrow. But show the ladies below some love. And again, this is Shawna Meeuwsen's Meeuwsen. Never can pronounce that right. Links are listed below, so check out her site. She has lots and lots of digitals up there I think you're gonna like. And we will do a little more with, we'll decorate the front of this tomorrow, and then we'll probably move on to the other kit and make some kind of a little journal or a envelope journal or something with that, so you can see it in a different way too. Thanks everybody. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Bye-bye.